Silkeborg travel to the London Stadium to take on West Ham United in game week 5 out of the 6 in the Europa Conference League group campaign, with the Hammers just needing 1 point from our remaining 2 games to secure straight through qualification to the round of 16. Of course, if we don't manage to do that, we could be at risk of having to play a playoff game in the round of 32 section of this competition. This is my match preview for West Ham United versus Silkeborg. Coming off the back of not a very nice performance, but we got the job done in the end on Monday night against Bournemouth with plenty of controversy involved. We want to put that to the side now and finish things off in Europe. With just a point needed, David Moyes and his side will look to just wrap this up and then be ready to kind of, play a very much weakened side next week, FCSB away. In terms of this game against Silkeborg, in this video, I'm going to be discussing David Moyes' press conference, team news, my predicted lineup, predictions, and everything else involved about West Ham United versus Silkeborg. I'm going to start off with David Moyes' press conference, which was done a couple of hours ago. He was joined by Ben Johnson, but just to cut this video down and make it as short and sharp and informative as possible. I'm not going to talk about what Johnson said, just about the team news, really. Moyes says about the team news, we have to think about it. The next game is also the most important, and our next game is Silkeborg, but there are also other things to keep in mind in terms of the level of games we have coming up. Moyes about Silkeborg said they are a really good team. We had Viborg in the qualifier, and we've got Silkeborg, who are 3rd or 4th in the Danish league. And I think Danish football is on an incredible up at the moment. Danish football has got an awful lot going on for it. I think the style is excellent, and I really admire them. The 2 teams we've played have really played well against us. So if anybody thinks we're looking at this any different, we're not. In terms of Naya Fagur, this is the big one. He said he's not in contention for Sunday, but we're hoping to have him in the squad tomorrow, one way or another. What will he bring? I don't want to put too much on him. I want to give him time, but he's a good reader of the game. He's quick and he's good in the air. But because he's not played any Premier League games, it's difficult to give an overall judgment. I don't think he's ready for Premier League games, but we'll see for this European couple of games now. He's keen and he's a really good character. I've got to say, we think he's a really stylish footballer. He then went on to say he will give us, hopefully, a natural left-footed balance as a centre-back. I see Nayef giving us something we've not had. The Moroccan national team have been great. He did all his early rehab with them. We really look forward to having him back. He's an enthusiastic guy who is top in the dressing room. I want to get him used to playing in the standards and physicality of the Premier League. So just to stop there for a moment, in terms of this then, so David Moyes deems he's not yet ready for Premier League football, but could be in contention for these next couple of games in Europe. I think it's a massive boost, and I think this might be David Moyes could be playing it down a little bit, because we've seen both him and Lucas Paqueta have been training with the main team in the open training session today at Rush Green. Is it called Rush Green? I don't know. It is now. So I think he could be available, and I think David Moyes right now is probably considering whether he's going to start him or not. He may just be on the bench. That wouldn't surprise me at all. But it also wouldn't surprise me if he's actually in that starting 11. I'm going to talk about my predicted lineup and whether I think we should start him in a couple of minutes' time. But just to continue on with what Moyes said with this press conference, he talked about Gianluca Scamacca, and he said Gianluca is interesting. He's a really good and nice lad. He's got some good traits as a centre forward, hold up play, stature, can score with his head, and has a cannon of a right foot. There are things I can think he can do better, but his movement is good. He's a really great character. It's really hard to find good young centre forwards these days. It's hard to find someone who can make a difference, and we're hoping he can do that. General team news, he said Cornet's had a small setback in training, so he's not available. Dawson is improving, but is not fit enough for the game, and Lucas Paqueta is also not available. But hopefully they are all not too far away. But really touch and go for Sunday as well. So that's the main team news from it. So just to digest that, because there was a lot there. So in terms of Cornet, perhaps he's come back into a bit of training and he's picked up another niggle, or he's not quite ready for training. So that's a little bit frustrating. Dawson is improving but not fit. So hopefully we could see him available for Sunday. But as Moyes said, it's touch and go. And then with Paqueta, he's just point blank said he's not available. Could that be a mirror for Sunday? Getting him ready for Sunday. He said also touch and go. So for this game, I wouldn't expect any 3 of those in the squad. So we can just rule them out right now. and then maybe Sunday could be a different matter. But a couple of things I wanted to talk about that's in the title of the video. Firstly, Gerd, really, really positive. Hopefully, I think, because I think he caused. I think he fixes a lot of problems for David Moyes at the moment, because yes, we'll have Dawson coming back as well, but for these Europe games, just for the time being, where he, gets himself playing some first team football again, these next couple of Europe games are good, and I think this is a perfect test tomorrow night. I think he will start him, actually, dependent on if he's really, really not fit enough. Of course, he won't start him, but if he thinks he's there or thereabouts, I think Moyes starts him in this game, and I think he starts him alongside Angelo Ogbonna. I start Areola in goal, and I just give players a rest, because this is a game where, yes, we do need to get a point out of it, but I think we can. By no means do I think they are a pushover, because they caused us some flipping problems out in Denmark, if you remember. It was less than comfortable towards the end. I can't really remember all of the game, but I can remember it was 3-2, and I can remember feeling a little bit nervy towards the end, because I think we sort of like got it wrapped up at about 3-1, and then it was just so boring, and then they got a goal back and it was 3-2, and we were almost holding on a little bit. We don't want that to happen again. Whatever side we put out from the first team, I think we've got enough to beat them, and maybe a similar lineup to what was involved out in Silkeborg. Obviously, injuries can't make that exactly identical, but perhaps something similar could be on the cards. I'd expect to see a Lanzini in midfield, because I think David Moyes is going to rotate in this game quite a lot, and Lanzini's been quite prominent in our Europa Conference League group stage campaign. So I'd expect Lanzini in there. Rice, Souček, Downs to partner him. Take your guess. I don't know, but I think it'll be one of those with Lanzini, and then attacking wise, take your pick. Corney not available. I'd expect Antonio to start up front. I'd expect Bowen to start on the right. Probably Fornals out on the left, and then Ben Rama as the number 10, because Paqueta's not available. Get Ben Rama starting some games and get a flow going from him. In terms of the fullbacks, I'd expect Soufal to start as well, and maybe Emerson, because he hasn't had much game time lately. So my lineup would be Areola, Emerson, Ogbonna, Agerd if he's fit, and then Soufal on the right, Lanzini and whoever Moyes wants, and then kind of a front four of what I mentioned just a couple of seconds ago. So that's what I'd expect. I'm expecting rotation, because Moyes has hinted at it, but maybe Ben Johnson has got a very good chance of being involved, considering he did the pre-match press conference. So read into that all you like. But Silkeborg are no pushovers, because they've got some very decent players, as David Moyes alluded to in his pre-match press conference. The Danish football, it's on and up, and they did cause us some problems. They are a good side, and as were Viborg, and they are going to want to come and cause an upset in London, and we've just got to try and stop that. We've got enough quality to beat them, I think. So hopefully we can. And in terms of the second part of what I've wrote on the title, Man United, the priority, I think it is, but we can't almost put this to the side too much. I mean, if we get the point that we need tonight, by all means, I'm all for putting the game next week to the side and focusing on the last couple of Premier League games before we break up for the World Cup. That is, I don't think that's even negotiable. I think that will happen, but I just don't want them turning up and, causing us some problems and having to bring on the likes of Rice and Skamaka to, and those sort of players to win the game for us. Hopefully with the players that I've mentioned, whatever David Moyes sees fit, we should be able to get the job done. But yeah, I just hope tomorrow night we can get it done, because Man United is the lasting priority with this, because Moyes has mentioned it. This is a game we want to get something out of, but we have got other priorities as well. And that game against Man United, if we want to get something out of it, which would be absolutely brilliant up at Old Trafford, because they are no pushovers anymore at Man United. They're not getting battered 4-0 every game by Brentford and Brighton and whoever. They caused Chelsea some really big problems, and they battered them for quite a while in their game last week. And they seem to have got kind of a unit there under Erik ten Hag. So that game's going to be really difficult. We're going to have to be at our best to get something out of that for me, and definitely better than what we were on Monday night against Bournemouth. I'm going to say that for sure. But hopefully we can have some players back from injury, which would be massive for that game as well. So let's just get this done without too much worry, and then the priority has got to be on Manchester United away for me. That is a big game. It's our almost last big team to play, because I think then we've got in the Premier League, is it Leicester and Palace? I think we've got. I don't think we've got any more Premier League games apart from that. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section, but I think that's it. So this is a big game, and hopefully we can just get this done, move on to that game and happy days. In terms of a prediction, don't think it's going to be at all pretty. I think they will cause us some problems, but I think we will win, and I think we'll keep a clean sheet. I'm going to go West Ham 2, Silkeborg 0 for me. I'm feeling a Lanzini goal from midfield for me, and perhaps a goal from a corner, maybe Ogbonna to get a goal as well. That's what I'm going for. So yeah, and maybe Bowen if you don't want as a kind of third option, because you can always bank on him to cause some problems if he's starting. So yeah, that's my prediction. What's your prediction? Put that in the comments section down below, and any thoughts on this game. That's it from me. It's been my match preview for West Ham versus Silkeborg in the Europa Conference League. A good fit, hopefully. Man United the priority for sure, but we've still got to keep a half an eye on this game 100%. But yeah, from me, come on you eyes. Thank you very much, and I'll catch you soon right here on West Ham Unofficial. Cheers guys, and bye-bye.